All right, everybody, welcome to Nerds of a Certain Vintage. As always, I am Doink.
And I am Dead Doink. We should save that for the end. Really.
We should, yes. I'm Patrick. All right, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Andy. But
and
but you can call him Doink and me Dead Doink. That's fine. Well, we will respond to that.
Will we? If somebody came up to the street on you, comes up to you on the street, and is like, "Hey, Dead Doink."
If I just heard Dead Doink, would I turn around?
Oh, yes, of course.
I absolutely would.
But if somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, Doink," I'd be like,
"See, you got the worst of it."
Yeah. The duh really makes the
it makes a difference. That's right. Doink could just be someone talking trash to you. Yeah. They would
Doink.
They would not be wrong.
All right. Well, this is our podcast proper for Sunday, July 7th. What are you drinking over there, Andy?
I'm having more wine.
More wine.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the wine.
Yeah, I am sitting over here drinking a crispy whip. Crispy whip.
I predict you're going to be drinking that crispy whip for...
It's going to be a while.
A while.
Give me a nipple.
Well, we've talked about
it.
this. Pat's doing semi-dry.
Yes, dry-ish. July.
Pseudo-dry July.
Mezzo-dry. Quasi-dry.
Quasi-dry July.
I like quasi-dry.
I know. I like mezzo-dry. Neo-dry. The new dry.
Yes.
So he's going to have a drink or two on the podcast, but the rest of the time he's not drinking at all. So
yes.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Proud of you.
Well, it was either that or start bringing in more of those sweet, sugary drinks from the Ensign market.
A little bit of a milk drink.
Come out of here and buzzing off the
I still need to try a basil seed drink.
Oh, you
so
do?
Delicious.
Maybe I'll get some of those next time.
Those of you who watch on YouTube, the very few of you, you'd have to go back and listen to the podcast. We didn't take the one where he was drinking the basil seed drinks, but
you liked the basil seed drink.
The basil seed drink was tasty.
Yeah, it was the grass jelly drink that was the worst.
I didn't even try that. I just left that to you, and you were like disgusting. So. It reminds me of what a drink you would find after mowing your lawn, you know.
Well, yeah, you pull all the clippings together.
And you have a beverage.
You squeeze them.
Squeeze them.
Squeeze them. You get all the juice out of it.
Put a little sugar in there.
Yeah, and then you put it in like an ice cube tray.
Why wouldn't you?
Really, maybe some gelatin in there.
There's got to be some gelatin. Some tapioca pearls. It'll be huge. This is going to be huge in Asia. Huge. Yes. Yeah. Already is.
All right. Well, anyway, this is our podcast proper. This is our first in July.
Yes.
So we are starting with our bonkers banana pants movie. I'm going to say, first of all, not so bonkers or banana pants. This movie.
It was bonkers enough, but it was a terrible.
It was bad.
It was a terribly written movie. Yeah. Once again,
it was a boring movie. I was bored while I was watching it.
There were moments. I wasn't necessarily bored, but I was dissecting it from a writing standpoint.
I'm silently judging.
Yeah, I was judging it. Not even silently. Like I was probably radiating off me in ways. You know what I mean?
All right. So just if you're listening or watching,
the reference is
we watched Night Teeth
on Netflix,
a 2021 Netflix movie.
Yeah.
That it must have been made during the pandemic. Because
maybe
there weren't a lot of actors in it. There weren't even a lot of extras in this movie.
No, I mean, there were. They were in the clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
So there was plenty.
That was pretty. Every time I see a club scene like that, all I'm thinking of is when they recorded this, when they filmed this, there was no film, there was no music happening, and all those schlubs were just dancing there silently. You know?
Look, you're ruining the Hollywood magic for me.
Of film.
The
magic of cinema.
See, now that's all I can think of is they're dancing around with nothing going on.
I'm glad that's in your head now too.
I know. Well, it's funny because I remember the trailer and it featured Megan Fox and Sydney Sweeney quite.
They were prominent,
substantially, and they show up for like 5 seconds, like they're barely in it.
Yeah. As was their clothes.
Well, Megan Fox was entirely clothed, but Sydney Sweeney was dressed as you might expect, which I'm very glad of because
this was really kind of pre-Sydney Sweeney blow up.
Well, clearly she had some cachet because they featured her prominently, and she was in it for 5 seconds. She was, and let's see if I'm using this right. She was stunt casted.
Well, I would have imagined that Megan Fox was more stunt cast.
Yes, yeah,
than she was. All right, so the basic premise of this is that there's an uneasy truce between humans and vampires in this one section of LA.
Los Angeles, yeah. And don't take our word for it. The whole first part is exposition. They lay it out for you, graphic novel style. So
listen, I don't know what.
And the one rule is stay out of Boyle Heights. Why is Boyle Heights so special? Yeah. Must be something in all of the world, in all of the universe of vampirism. Just stay out of Boyle Heights, man. Yeah.
Those Boyle Heights people. It's
because Jay's in there.
Yeah,
Well,
he was
Jay.
They keep talking about how it was 100 years ago that this was made, and I keep wondering,
was Boyle Heights around?
Was Boyle Heights anything other than farmland?
Exactly. When was LA incorporated, really? And when was Boyle Heights a part of it? Stay out of Boyle Heights. You sons of bitches.
You bloodsucking.
Well, back in the day, it was just a farm owned by Mr. Boyle.
Yeah.
And he was having none of that.
Yeah.
None of it.
He was like, I'll let you have everything around me.
That's right.
But stay out of Boyle.
There's nothing here but farmland, but stay out of Boyle Farm.
Yeah. And of course, the vampires agreed to it because they're like, there's nothing there.
Exactly.
Of course, we're happy to stay out of Boyle Heights.
We can't drink these cows?
Chupacabra style?
On the Boyle pastures? No.
Yeah.
That's a heartbreaker.
So yes, and one vampire has taken it upon himself to break said truce, and is taking down the 5 families, the heads of the 5 vampire families, to consolidate power under himself.
And I'm going to assume that these are the 5 kings of just Los Angeles.
I'm sure.
And it's that's the thing. Part of the writing doesn't. It's pretty ill-conceived, really, because you don't. You think if there's a 100-year peace and there are vampires, they will have spread. If this is only where they started, and chances are this is not what you think of. Twilight, that's worldwide, right?
Yeah, of course.
They flash to the worldwide vampire network, but they act like this is some sort of insular little microcosm of vampirism, and so this guy, Victor's idea that he's going to take out the heads of the 5 families and just take over,
he's going to run LA.
And he's going to, there's not other vampires that they're associated with beyond this point that might take umbrage.
I get the feeling that Netflix might have thought that this was going to be a big deal. And, they had plans for future movies.
No, if you watch the writing, they
had the whole the vampire fighting society with the pins. And they set it up so that Jay and Benny were going to be on opposite sides at the end. Spoilers for a movie that's pretty bad and probably no one will want to watch anyways.
Well, once again, yes.
I can forgive a lot of, crappy movies if they're entertaining and they're bonkers enough. This was just kind of blah.
Well, it wasn't even that. To me, the premise was so flawed. Throughout the whole thing, I'm thinking just... Wait a minute here, and it suffers from that thing that we're getting a lot these days that I've complained about many times, which is the ethical vagary of it.
Okay.
Right? A lot of screenwriters today just don't there's that good evil balance, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't necessarily have to play into that. You don't have to have the good and the evil, but you have to recognize that interplay exists, mm-hmm. and you have to recognize that. Okay, so. It starts with our god Benny. Yes. Benny is every urban trope you can imagine. He is the smartest guy in school, and yet he's streetwise, and so he sells homework to the dumber kids to make money. Yeah. But despite the fact that he's brilliant and studying economics, he wants to be a musician. So he's
got plans upon
plans. He's mixing his music so that it becomes big time. His brother is Jay, and Jay is head vampire hunter. And
I don't know if he was head vampire hunter or if he was just
he's the guy that they're scared of in Boyle Heights. That's why you don't go into Boyle Heights, because Jay is there. 100 years ago, I'm not so sure how that they were don't go into Boyle Heights. In 100 years, there's going to be Jay. I think that's what it was.
No, they had the whole mural where he's for 100 years, this has been passed down generation to generation.
Oh, so Jay was the next one in the line. Jay was
the next one, but I got the feeling he wasn't a vampire hunter as much as he was just
the protector
the bad
of Boyle
dude.
Heights.
He was the Boyle Heights guy. Like, he wasn't going out and hunting vampires. He was keeping Boyle Heights safe. You know, that's what I got this
because of the truce.
Right.
Once again, poorly conceived. Like, it's not represented well at all.
I need to figure out where Boyle Heights is.
I don't think Boyle Heights is an entirely fictional sort of area, right? But so Benny.
Boyle Heights is a neighborhood in Los Angeles.
Oh, fantastic! At least I got that right, I guess.
It's historically known as Paradon Blanco.
Paradon. So for White Dawn, I don't know.
There's a picture of Boyle Heights in 1877.
It's all fields and shit. There's a couple of buildings around, I think. I can't tell what's in the back there. Yeah. This was a drawing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, see, they've got these little markings like, this is where houses will be. So, but anyway, Benny is every urban trope.
Right.
He is a, I don't know.
It's by Chinatown.
He's like he's a black Hispanic person.
Yeah. Trying to get ahead, grinding out.
Just working it out. And Jay, who is head vampire hunter, runs a limousine service. And Jay's girlfriend gets kidnapped by the vampires, obviously breaking the truce.
Right.
And so Jay can't drive that night. So Benny's like, let me drive. And so he's like, fine, that's, you can do it, but you're me. Pretend to be Jay. Yeah. So he is hired, and he goes picks up these two hot girls.
Yes.
Blair and Eva?
No, Eva was
Zoe. Blair and Zoe.
Yeah.
I wrote it down because my memory is, nerds of a certain vintage memory is shite. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah. Eva was actually, what's the hot girl?
Yeah, Megan Fox.
No, the other one.
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney.
That's right.
That was Eva.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm only giving you this sort of a summary so that I can get to this point, which is that Blair is the love interest for Benny, and she's a vampire, and the ethical vagary around her is writ large. Yes. Like, is she a bad guy? Is she a good guy?
She'll kill some people.
Yeah, she
got no problem killing some folks.
She immediately essentially they're in the limo. They give him a list of houses. They're like, these are the 5 parties we're hitting tonight. We got to get back to this final location
by dawn.
And obviously we know they're vampires from the trailer, so that's fine. We know why they got to get back there. Yeah. Otherwise they're gonna burn. But like, the first place they show up, it's a party. The whole time I'm thinking of, what's his name?
Eyes Wide Shut is what I was thinking.
No, I was thinking of Die Hard. What's his name?
Ethan Hunt?
No, in Die Hard, the guy that runs the limo, and he stays in the garage, and he's just partying in the limo. Yeah. One of my favorite characters, but the whole time I'm thinking, Benny, you got to take a lesson from what's his name? But he falls asleep in the limo. He hears a scream, it wakes him up. He gets out of the limo, and he conveniently finds a little jewel that lets you into like vampire. Argyle. There you go. Yeah. But in the beginning, what is her name? Blair is like, the next place he goes, he finds a bag of money in the back with blood in it, and he freaks out, and then a cop starts sniffing around, like a beat cop, so he goes into the hotel where they're in the garage.
Oh, you're forgetting the MacGuffin. He's found the little gem.
That's what I mean. That's the convenience of finding the little gem. Like,
they just drop those things.
They're just everywhere. Yeah, exactly.
You just go, and they
they're like
people are blood high, and
they're like Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Yeah, you just handing them out.
You just find them laying around everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah, the guy that has that, like, that's not the most important thing that he's got, so that he can get into the blood drinking party. Yeah,
but to the blood drinking party, that's like you got to cross through a field of red lights to get into.
Exactly. Those were cool, though.
They were very cool.
I think most of the budget went for paying for those red lawn lights and for the El Azul sign. Yeah, if that's even a club. But he goes in. He goes in there because he's afraid the cop's going to find him with this bag of bloody money.
Yeah. And he's just looking for the 2 girls. He's like, I got to warn you, the cops sniffing around out there.
They're putting
the bag full of bloody money that you have.
They're putting the bite on these 2 sexy well-built dudes.
Well, one of them was sexy and well-built. The other guy, he was kind of dad bod-ish.
No, he was. When they turned him upside down, you could tell it said that he had abs. But he wasn't as good as the other guy. But we know the other guy had a fake torso,
of course,
like a sculpted torso, because he didn't breathe at all. Yeah. So either the entire thing was a mannequin, or they made him a
chest plate of some sort.
Which I'm gonna go with the chest plate.
I would go with the. Hey, if somebody told me you're gonna be in this movie and you get to wear this ripped up chest plate, I'm like,
all right. It's nothing but burgers and donuts.
There you go, baby.
Just don't get enough dad bod that it's like spilling out around the chest plate, the ab plate.
Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
if we could all get one of those. But I just they're.
But he also he answered her phone, or he saw the texts.
From Victor talking about
how's Jay doing.
It was clearly a setup.
I can't wait to see the look on his face when this whole thing goes down.
Yeah. See, once again, they
as
know.
You would text your girl.
Exactly. And just let him know that Jay's the dude. He's the guy.
Yeah.
But Blair and Zoe are putting the bite on these dudes, and
because the dude wakes up and he's like, "Dude, that was so great.
I loved getting my blood sucked
is
out.
My bro over there dead?
What's going on?
Why aren't you breathing?
We gotta hit the gym, bro." But he's all out. He's like, "Oh, he's dead." And he's like,
"I'm a sad bro now."
You can't do this. There's a truce. What about the bro code? You can't kill my bro. But then Zoe and Blair are just like, oh, it's too bad, and they sling him upside down and put the bite on him, and I'm just thinking, okay, this is villain activity, right? Straight up villain activity. Yeah. But then
I got the feeling that Blair was also kind of, she was tagging along with Zoe. Zoe was the one calling the shots.
But still, it wasn't like she was. It wasn't like she was a resistant follower.
No.
Like she was on board.
Yeah, but she'd been a vampire since 1970s or whatever.
But once again, this is good writing versus bad writing. Where's the personal growth where you start to examine what you have been doing and why you have been doing it? There's none of that.
I think that it happened on that couch.
When they were making out and her butt was way up in the air.
Yeah, where it was
sexy
time was this close.
It was a shapely butt up in the air. Yeah. That's when she was...
That's the personal growth right there.
Yeah, on his part. Not on her part.
No. That's where she fell for it.
Yeah, he's full of personal growth.
But
he's got a stain in his pants from personal growth.
My mother's listening to this.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Sorry, Mama O'Shea. Sorry about that. But.
So yes. Listen, we could.
This is my only point.
It's pretty. Yeah. It's just boring. That's what it was for me.
And the whole thing about where he decides to help them with their very questionable goals, and
he legitimately is responsible for killing 5-10 people in this movie. Just through his actions, not even his inactions. His actions did that.
Right.
He hit the guy in the head with a bottle. Yeah. And then they killed him and the 4 or 5 guys that was with him. And
I think it was not.
Then he ran over a guy trying to get away from the other place.
Exactly. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And once again, they didn't represent very well whether his motivation was that he knew his brother was in danger and it was all about saving the brother. That needed to be much more in the forefront of the story for you to feel any kind of sympathy for him and what he was doing, because he was doing it was more like, oh, I almost had sex with the hot girl, I think I'll run this dude over, and I'm just like, okay.
But that doesn't he was nowhere near sex with her when he hit the guy with the bottle.
No, that was well before that.
All he had at that point was a kiss from her.
And it was
show up his.
It was a fake kiss.
The bullies who were
talking shit about him.
Get us into the bar, buddy.
Yeah. Here, we're going to humiliate you. Maybe that'll help you get us into the bar. Yeah. Dude, I think you need to learn a little bit about how to influence people. Yeah. You act like their best buddy. You don't ooh, you're a janitor.
Ooh, you're right.
I was just like, who's writing this thing, man?
Send them back to the back of the line.
Exactly. Well, that made sense. That was actually entirely logical, But throughout the whole thing, I'm just thinking, the number one, the ethical vagary of these people being people. Are you supposed to sympathize with them and their bullshit? Even Benny, I was like, Benny, you're like the dumbest guy. Like, what exactly are you trying to achieve here? You know, the motivation of trying to save your brother is legitimate, but it's not well represented that that's what you're thinking of.
He did try to run away, but I mean,
well, that's the other thing.
Vampires are like super fast.
But the physics of it all, like, look, I know
you still have to open the door.
You have to open the door. To get like around the car. You're not going to be standing there when he opens his door. The door has wind resistance. It's not going to open that fast. Plus, we would hear it or something. He would be able to
rip the door off the hinges in order to be able to
you're magic, and you just pass right through the door. Like,
she turned into mist, went through.
Even that takes time. Like Benny should have gotten down the alley, and then she was at the end of the alley. Yeah, that I could buy. Yeah, but I'm like, dude, come on, think about this. Whoever's writing this, think about it.
Listen, they didn't have that kind of budget. They don't have alley money.
They couldn't pay for writers.
They don't have an alley budget. Come on,
I'm just like
that's a whole nother filming location.
The writing is the cheap part, man. Like, just pay a little bit more money for an editor, someone who gets on there and reads it and goes, wait a second. He gets out of the car. This doesn't make any sense. He gets out of the car and she's right there. How fast is she?
and there's other points where, like, they're not that fast. Like, he almost stabs the guy multiple times.
Once again. And when he shoots Victor in the head, and Victor's fine. Like, he stops him, and he's just like, I'm okay. There's no brain here. Like, you know, we don't have, like, vampires don't have the same anatomy. Yeah. You know, I'm just like, wait
you're going to be dumb for a little while until you heal up.
You're like, you know.
Give me a second.
And once again, these knives that kill them don't appear to be anything special. Like, are they... Shouldn't you make them silver or something?
We have
when did knives become the most dangerous thing to vampires?
And
the tracer crossbows?
Tracer crossbows that just they don't leave marks on things. They just bounce off
and they just bounce off cars and stuff.
That's what
it's fine.
Listen, if you get a choice between a gun and a crossbow, you go for a crossbow. Obviously,
with vampires, why not?
Crossbow's the way to go.
Yeah. Plus, when they corner Blair and Zoe in that back room with the vampire hunters, and they all come out and they all have like crossbows on them, and then
pointing at each other
that are like on opposite sides, like like if they miss, they're hitting each other.
Well, luckily she's not that fast.
Yeah, exactly. She's the slowest vampire.
She's not out the door and around the car fast.
She can get out of that car so quickly. Yeah.
Well,
and then Benny saves the day by busting their leader in the head when he's not even armed. Like, he's got nothing to do with this entire
situation. I can see that being a shock to the people. Like, you see some random dude who's just off in the corner.
But you know what happens with dudes with crossbows when they get shocked? They start firing immediately. Like, they're just bang, 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 bang. And no, they're just like they immediately put their bows up. What? You know? I'm just come on, man. He said kill her. Yeah. Look, she's a vampire so fast she can get out of the car and be at the other door. As soon as I'm like, I got my finger on the trigger and I'm just waiting for kill. Yeah. I'm not even waiting for her. Yeah. Then I'm tracering.
You hear just
yeah. Is that a sound? Yeah. You said kiss her. I did.
You gotta be quick.
I didn't wait for the two S's. I heard two L's. That's what I heard. I wasn't even waiting.
Why would I kiss her?
Exactly. Your orders make no sense.
It's almost like he wanted me to die.
Victor's going to be pissed.
And of course, Victor is played by Theon Greyjoy.
Theon Greyjoy, I just love that. When he pulls up, you're like, is that Theon Greyjoy? I was like, no. But it was.
It was. It absolutely was.
Yeah, you're like, I wonder if he has his penis in the...
Well,
not that we ever found out.
No, but
and I'm glad.
I think Lucy would have told us.
That may have been the high point of this movie that we didn't find that out.
Zoe would have told us.
I think so.
He's angry. Yeah. He's angry because he's got no ding ding.
That's his motivator. As long as I knew what his motivator was.
Sure.
Here's the other thing that kills me that this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So when Jay and the vampire hunters from what's the neighborhood again?
Boyle Heights.
Boyle Heights, like the super vampires, like unstoppable vampirism from Boyle Heights. Because of all the rules, you don't go into Boyle Heights, man. When they go to the first party, the mansion,
right,
and they walk in, and they're like, oh my god, and like everybody's killed, like there's just dead vampires.
Yeah,
I'm like,
why would you kill that head? Like, why would you do that?
Well, he's taking out the 5 families, right? So
right.
And that's one of the 5 families.
But he wasn't dead at that point. When
you're talking about
all they had to do was give him a little bit of blood. He'd be fine. And then Victor is screwed.
He's screwed. Well, apparently not, because apparently Blair and Zoe can take out an entire mansion of vampires. Like, no one can stop them. They're so incredibly superpowered.
They're so sexy.
They're so sexy. Sexy.
They kill people.
Laundry.
They kill people through the power of their sexiness.
I'm glad you explained that to me. When I saw that they had killed like an entire mansion full of vampires and the head vampire, who you would assume is the head vampire because of something.
Yes.
Like, he's powerful.
Yeah.
He's not just some schlub in an easy chair next to the pool. And I'm just like, okay, what did they have some kind of a poison? Did they do a trick? How did they kill everybody?
I don't know, man. But he got stabbed, right? He had that same thing where he needed blood.
He got tracer.
Yeah.
But I didn't see them bringing crossbows in. Did somebody sneak I need the handbook.
They had bags of stuff to take in there.
Are you sure I thought that was the bag of bloody money. But
there might have been a mini crossbow in there.
There were sneaky crossbows in there. They snuck crossbows in. That makes sense. Okay.
Maybe
there are no plot flaws in this movie.
Just hear me out. They had to wear masks into that party.
That's true.
Hidden mini crossbows.
Mini crossbows in the masks. That makes sense. And no one knew who they were. They were completely unrecognizable with their sex.
Aren't you Victor's girls? How is Victor?
By the way.
Is he still angry about lacking his diddle?
Bang, and scene, I was just like, come on, man.
Is he still missing his ding ding? Or did it grow back?
Is he pissed about that? Don't tell him I brought that up. I'm so sorry.
We know how he hates it.
He hates that conversation. I was like, wait a minute. And Victor then goes to see the 2 hot girl kings.
Right.
Megan Fox and Sydney Sweeney.
Right.
And they're just like, this is a problem. You broke the truce. Yeah. Do you want to talk to Martin? Okay, who is Martin?
I don't know who Martin is.
Yeah.
This is what they were setting up. This is Netflix thought they had a big deal.
But
this was going to be John Wick. This was going to be
then Victor is just like, no, I've come to kill you. Okay, wait a second. These are 2 kings.
Right.
2 kings, and you're 1 lieutenant.
Yeah.
You're not even a king.
And they've just shown how 2 women, through sheer sexiness, can destroy a whole house.
Exactly.
Of vampires.
If we're talking about sheer sexiness, I think Megan Fox and Sydney Sweeney kind of got it on those 2.
Yeah.
If it's all sexy,
yeah,
murder, I mean, if it's sexy power, I feel like Sydney Sweeney and Megan Fox got it over Blair and Zoe.
Maybe.
Not by a lot.
Yeah.
But they got it. So how does he take them both out with no problem? I don't know. Once again, where's the handbook?
We didn't get to see that particular fight.
I know, there's just blood everywhere. Where's the special skill or weapon that he's using to take out the most powerful people and no security?
I've got it.
They're like, security! And he's like, I've got the ear of your 1 security person. Like the one other vampire that you keep around to protect you.
Your doorman on the first floor.
Exactly. I sent him for a pizza. He's not here anymore.
I think I know what the secret is.
Please, tell me.
It's the
pheromones.
It's the element of surprise.
It's the element of surprise. Yeah, he takes them down to that little pit, and they're sitting there, and he's like, I'm about to kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're like, what?
Let me call for my security.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a 1,000-year-old super powerful vampire. It's just like, oh my god, I'm frozen.
Here's what Sydney Sweeney should do.
Right.
I've got, here. What do you think about this?
Exactly, talk about a surprise. Like, boom. And Victor's like, oh, humana.
That would do it for me if I had a ding-ding.
Exactly. See?
Why do you have to bring that
I'm your
up?
kryptonite. I have no ding-ding. You cannot stop me with that surprise.
I'm a vampire without a dongle.
Are those supposed to impress me?
Yes, they are.
Just from an aesthetic point of view, even if you're not interested, these should surprise you.
Yes. I've seen Zoe. Come on. Here's a hierarchy.
I like when that happened, and I'm like, why are they even kings? Why they don't? They're like,
well, then the final king is like a
he's
surfer bro.
He's surfer Jim Bro at the Venice Beach location.
So stupid.
Yeah,
it's so dumb. But that wasn't like who was the fifth? Because
he was the fifth.
Well, yeah, but the guy in the mansion was one of the guy. Like who was?
I feel like
we had the guy in the mansion, Sydney Sweeney,
the two women, yeah,
and I think Jim Bro.
Well, the club they went to,
right?
They all showed up at the club. That's where one of the kings.
But he wasn't. He didn't show up.
But I think the vampire hunters supposedly took him out. Once again, not well explained. But why would they go there? Why would Blair and Zoe go there unless he was supposed to be one? And they were like, because they kept going, "Where is this guy?
Yeah.
Where is he?" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that." Yeah. You know, there was no explanation. And maybe in Night Teeth 2, Netflix's franchise,
Night Tooth.
Yes.
Tooth.
Yes.
TWOT.
Your pun has made me sad now.
But come on, we could write a Night Tooth.
Yeah,
and it would be great.
No, I could certainly write a better movie than this, and maybe retcon some of this bullshit. But
Abuela was pulling the strings the whole time.
Abuela, exactly.
I like her better.
She was the fourth king that no one knew about.
Yes.
Now that's why she's always in the house making treats, is because she can't go out in the sun.
Her name's Martin. Or Marvin or whatever.
Well, so that I think that was the fourth. Once again, not a well-written movie. No. I don't understand. Fun to make fun of, though.
Well, yes, clearly, but the four, like they have this whole thing is centered on the fact that they have to go to these 5 places, right?
Right.
The last one, the 5th place, is back to Victor's house.
Right.
So really, they've got 4 places to go. And the plan is for them to kill the 5 leaders.
Right.
Right.
Victor takes out 2, so they
Victor
really only
takes
have
out
3.
2. So they have 3 to take out.
Right.
They take out 2. That leaves... they go to the bar to get one of them. But the place where they go to drink the 2 guys dry...
What's the point?
That's just we need our energy. It's a snack.
Well, that was...
We got killing to do. We've got to,
Well, the first place they went to was the mansion.
It's electrolytes. They need their electrolytes.
Well, you don't want to downplay electrolytes. Very important, man.
That's what plants
they could get that keto flu. No, the first place they went was the mansion. That was the party where they killed the one guy. In fact, they killed the whole entire place, just the 2 of them.
Except for the leader. They didn't actually follow through and kill the leader.
Yeah, they
left that guy.
They just traced him.
Yeah.
I don't know how they even did that. They had him hidden in their masks, as you say. So the second one, they go there, I guess, just to top off.
Yeah, it's a snack. It's like stopping at Wendy's on the way.
Well, once again, it's contrived writing. It was there so that Benny could find out. Like, the entire purpose of that was for Benny to catch them in the act. Yeah.
But he could have gone into the first place and seen them.
Once again, coulda, woulda, shoulda. There's so many better ways to write this than they did write it.
And then they went to the bar in order to get the second leader, who was either already dead or whatever.
Well, once again, the problem with this is not is the lack of conception of after you kill the first bunch.
Word's gonna get out.
Unless you really kill them such that nobody knows about it, and maybe you can get away with that.
Maybe that's why they had to kill everybody in that first party.
Well, no, that makes entire sense. But when you go to the second place, and you're just randomly killing the Jim Bros, there's a truce, man. Try to keep it on the down low if that's what you're working on. Don't just randomly kill some dudes.
And I'm legitimately wondering why Victor would steal Jay's girlfriend to break the truce before anything happened. Why would you set Jay off? Jay would be none the wiser.
Right.
If he hadn't done that stupid
Right. You really want a steak that bad.
Yeah, you just go and you're like, listen, last night,
Right.
we took over. Sorry, Boyle Heights is part of the plan.
Bite, 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 and scene.
Yeah, it's a 5-minute short movie.
Exactly. Once again.
The conception of this is fun. It's like, it's the night of the town for
there are so
vampires.
Many. Yeah, there are
sexy
so many.
vampires.
There are so many vampire movies, and I assume we're doing vampires for July.
I don't know.
You know
Maybe.
what? You know what I thought about why we should do this is that you've heard of Christmas in July, right?
Right.
It's
Monstober in July.
Monstober in July. I just feel like July should be the month where we double down on whatever month, like rom-coms in July. Like we do.
Sure, yeah.
We do Loveberry in July, like whatever that month happens to be. Anime in July, like anime in July. That's gonna be a couple years down the road. I don't want to burn you out on anime because I know how much you love it.
Yeah, very close to May.
Cult films in July, right?
So, listen. Here's the thing. This movie had me. Like, it was boring, but I was in for it. Like, fine, whatever.
And then you saw Sydney Sweeney in that top, and you were like, I'm down. And then, like, no.
No, I was listen. I don't think Sydney Sweeney can act, but like that's fine. Whatever.
She's not a terrible actress.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not why people like
watch her. Yeah,
she's not a thespian. But
no. She's no Ed Norton or.
No, but
who else? Who else is a great actor?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Kim.
But
he is a very good actor, though.
As kind of boring and kind of like meandering as this movie was, I was okay with it until that scene with the physics where the car was driving backwards and they did the whole shot from above.
that is so true. Why wouldn't you just get a stunt guy and get a drone and just film it from the top so that it actually looks like
the car has some weight.
We would still be like, Benny doesn't know how to drive like that. Like Benny doesn't have those sorts of skills.
Right. So
but the physics were off.
Just to explain what happens, Benny
was like, I'm done. I'm so done with this. I'm done. And I was just like, man.
I didn't even say that. I was just like, nope.
But it was fine. I thought it was so funny though. Because the car like backed up.
It was backing up away from the vampire fight, and he's down this alley
in Venice Beach,
and you see from a top, and he's coming to a T junction,
right?
And so he has to turn, and so he's just speeding. He's like bombing it, and he stops and goes forward, and it's like there's no motion. It's nothing. It's just like and forward.
Right.
It really is something you have to see to really understand what's going on.
Like sideways swerve.
Yeah.
But generally, if you're doing that, you're going to go over a little bit, and then you got to roll off and correct it. Yeah. But there was none of that. This was geometric.
This was animated. This was computer graphics where the guy was like, "Listen, this movie is in theaters on Friday. Get me something."
Yeah. They pulled
it's Tuesday.
They pulled this from Grand Theft Auto. It was perfect.
No flaws. No, this is nothing but flaws. We've talked about how
and once again,
Mortal Kombat had no plot flaws.
Yeah.
This was nothing but plot flaws. This was just this was the gauziest of plot flaws stitched together,
right,
with like lace in between the plot flaws.
And at the end, when he finds Jay in his little blood bank or whatever with all the homeless people. And he gets caught before he's able to break... Benny gets caught before he's able to break Jay out. Now, I feel like as a motivator, like Jay getting caught and him trying to get back to Jay, it should have been played up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because, once again, the motives are very vague here. Like, who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? Why is Benny doing all this? Why is Blair doing all this?
Well,
is she recognizing that the evil she's done over the years as a vampire is problematic, and she likes Benny enough that she feels like I need to redeem myself to something? No, none of that. Yeah. Like it doesn't. Yeah. Like it's not examined at all. There's no growth at all. I'm just like, come on, man.
And it ends up with her and Benny like as the kingpins. I'm assuming like
there's nobody left.
There's nobody left.
But you can still do Night Teeth too. Somebody's got to be coming for them.
Night Tooth. Come on, Night Tooth.
Night Tooth. Night 2
It's a 2 with a TH. Tooth.
Yeah, that sounds like a step back because there's usually 2 teeth. It's a singular. Tooth.
Listen,
I kind of like that though. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, it works.
So I mean, at the end of this,
I was gonna say though, Jay is caught in the blood bank, right? And Benny gets down there with a bat, but before he can break Jay out of the glass case that he's in, Victor catches him and then drags him upstairs. And then there's that moment where Blair is like, "No, you're not going to kill him."
Yeah.
Like, after all the hot guys I've been with for 100 years, he's the one.
Yeah. He's touched something in my soul.
Exactly. Well, she should have been better represented, but they stab her, but Benny has a plan, which is clever. That actually worked. Yeah.
It was Chekhov's auto start.
Chekhov's auto start. So the limousine he's been driving this whole time has an auto start, and when they first show it to us in the very beginning of the movie, past like Chekhov's auto start, and I'm like, I think you're right about that. And so what happens is Benny has such...
I should not be able to, it should not be that clear.
That obvious, yeah. But it was.
Of course.
Benny sets the car up aimed at the big picture window in the front. He puts a rock on the accelerator. Yeah. And then when things are going bad, he hits the auto start so that when it starts, it just shoots off and breaks through in sunlight. Yeah. And here's the thing. Sunlight in most vampire movies takes a little while to burn these folks up. But no, this is almost instantaneous. They melt. Yeah. Like a...
But she gives a little death shiver at the end.
It's like a bar of butter in the microwave. I mean, it goes fast,
And so, he's a... And luckily... Blair is just off screen, just enough,
just away out of the sunlight thing. But the thing is that Victor gets away, and then the next thing you see is Jay trudging out of the shadows, and I'm like, okay, that's Victor's best play is to go let Jay out.
Yeah, keep him on a leash.
It's a trap. Well, Jay, why are you trudging out of the shadows if you know it's a trap?
Yeah, just lay down.
Yeah. Fight with Victor. Make him tear you up. I don't know what you're doing here. You're just like, no, I'm trudging out of the shadows. Don't touch me. Like, why are you coming at me, dude? Why are you coming at me, bro?
Cash me outside, bro.
Cash me outside. But Jay saves the day, I guess. I just,
kind of. Yeah. Like, well, he does kill Victor. Like, he does the flying.
Considering that all they have to do is touch sunlight, and they burst
into flames.
They burst into like molten lava. Yeah. I was just like, man, come on.
And listen, Jay must have been really weak because he just kind of laid there.
Yeah. After he attacked him. Well, they've been draining blood out of him all day.
Yeah, and Benny had been bitten, and so Blair had to feed him in this endless cycle of blood mixing.
She bit her wrist, put it to Benny's mouth, and while he was drinking her blood, she bit him on the neck. And I was like, that's kind of a cool...
Yeah, it's all... You're creating a circuit.
Yeah, that's bad for the arteries, I think. They're probably flattening out, sucking up vacuum tube thing,
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Especially since all that blood's just going in your belly.
I know, it's got to cycle around, right?
It's got to get metabolized through the guts.
You're draining each other of blood.
Yes.
And it's all in your stomach. I hope your gut biome is healthy. That's a problem.
Well, do vampires poop?
I have to go poop.
She just comes out.
That's how you know. That's how you know you become a vampire. Yeah, you got to go poop.
And so, of course, Benny becomes a vampire, but it's kind of played cheesy. Is he or is he not?
He's still in college for economics.
Yeah, taking night classes.
Even though he's a creature of the night.
Yes, and he's got to go and he sees the two jackasses.
The hot girl that he likes and her dick boyfriend are like, hey, are you okay, dude? Is the thing. And then Blair shows up in her Maserati and he gets in and then he puts his sunglasses on in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And says, hey, you guys need a ride?
Yeah. There's not even a cool effect. Normally in that last scene they'll have the eyes go dark or something.
Right.
You can't do that. They didn't have eye darkening.
But once again,
money.
the ethical vagary of it. Like, what's your plan here, Benny? You gonna eat them?
Oh, he's definitely gonna eat them.
He's gonna eat them. So it's like, are you a villain or are you still our hero? I don't. How should I feel about you? I don't know how to feel about you.
Some people need to be eaten.
Well, yeah, they were kind of dicks, but you know,
yeah, they don't deserve to be killed. Clearly, but
yeah, like who wrote this? And like, you need to take an ethics course, dude.
I can tell you who wrote it.
Oh, this is the just quintessential 2020s writing, screenwriting.
Written by Brent Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
He has one writing credit. Night Teeth.
Brent, buddy. You need to like read some philosophy books or something. I mean, you got to like pick yourself up a Bible. Just learn some things, because I think you learned all of your ethics from Mein Kampf, or potentially, you know.
All right, so how about this? How about we go to Rotten Tomatoes and we can look at what the tomatometer says?
Yeah, I would love to hear what other people said.
All right.
It will not affect my opinion at all, as you know. But
no. So I'm going to say higher or lower. Which is higher or lower? Tomatometer or audience score?
The audience score has got to be higher. I can't imagine once again, the critics are sort of captured. Most of the IMDb stuff and the tomatometer are curated, so these people are paid to give an opinion. So it's always hard to tell. But I can't imagine that Netflix paid a bunch of critics to give them good scores on this bullshit. So, but you know, it had Sydney Sweeney and Megan Fox and it was a vampire flick. So I imagine it has an audience to some degree. I imagine it's in the lower numbers, but I gotta say the critics got to be lower than the audience score.
How about this? Night Teeth mildly entertains, but it ends up being more of a nibble than a bite.
That's a nice little sort of.
Hey, Roger Moore wrote this one.
I don't think it's the Roger Moore.
Hey, okay. it's Anne
Roger Moore. Anne Roger Moore.
One of the vampire movies more concerned with rules and exposition and explaining how the world operates than most of the elements that make such genre pictures work. Here's one. Dennis Schwartz. Nothing to sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so yes. Critics, 37%. Audience score, 48%.
Yes, so critics was lower.
Yes.
I'm going to call it a win. But I still... even that's too
like
high.
Audience score, like 48% of the folks were thinking this was a bad movie. This is...
Well, but once again, it's the shiny turd, right? Like obviously it had a budget. Cinematography was fine. Filming was fine. You know, as far as what it looked like, it looked fine. Some of these are named actors. You know, you recognize some people.
Yeah.
The acting wasn't terrible, but it was. I mean, it comes down to how bad the writing was.
Yeah.
The writing was abysmal, and if you're not going to spend money on a good story, then you get what you pay for. In all honesty, but once again, the effects were fine. You know,
were they though?
Yeah, they were fine
until that car. Like that.
You can't pin the whole movie on that.
Listen. It takes one thing to take me completely.
Did it take you out of the illusion?
Yes, absolutely. I was on board for this.
You should have been out of the illusion already. When that happened, that's just a cherry on the cake, man.
What do you think the production budget was for this?
$50 million?
$21.7 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that it was less. Because holy fuck, man!
I went on Box Office Mojo. I didn't expect to find anything because Night Teeth was not released.
Who even knows?
Right.
You know?
But there is another movie called Les Dents de la Nuit.
Well, that sounds fantastic.
Those are the teeth of the night.
It's Canadian, is it?
It's French.
Of course it is, yeah.
Best friends and hardcore partiers Sam, Alice, and Prune have scored invitations to Medici Night, the legendary VIP bash held every year every year at a remote castle. But when they discover that the wild party is being thrown by an elite race of blood-crazed vampires, they'll have to stake, stab, slice, bludgeon, and blast their way out of a soiree where the hosts are thirsty and the bar is now open.
I cannot wait to see this.
Is it in bad taste to massacre a horde of undead guests, even if they are a total pain in the neck?
Stop it.
Checky Carrillo of Bad Boys fame stars in this sex, blood, and rock and roll blowout, featuring music by Eagles of Death Metal, Goldfrapp, The Magic Numbers, Benjamin Diamond, Scratch Massive, Ghost Cat, and more.
Scratch Massive, I love that name.
I will tell you, the music in Night Teeth wasn't bad. Like
it was every urban trope you can think.
Yeah, but still,
every one of them.
It made me want to dance. Really.
I believe it did.
Not really.
I am not a bit surprised by that, man.
So listen, all right.
It made you want to put on your boogie shoes?
Yes. It made me glad that I had decided I was going to drink a beer while I was watching.
Well,
if I'd had some water while I was watching this, I would have been an angry Pat. Grumpy Pat would have been here.
You would have been thirst-angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beer angry.
Beer angry. Yeah. Sober angry. That.
All right. Well, listen. I think we need to make a road trip to Boyle Heights.
Yeah. Let's check out what Boyle Heights is. Yeah. What are you here for? We're gonna rob you and kill you. Well, at least there's no vampires.
I've heard there's vampires.
You know Jay, right? Jay's keeping them out. It's all because of Jay.
The area was named after Andrew Boyle, an Irishman born in Ballinrobe, who purchased 22 acres on the bluffs overlooking the Los Angeles River after fighting in the Mexican-American War. He bought it for $4,000. 22 acres.
Benny left college on a skateboard. Like every urban trope. Everyone. Like how... come on, man. All right. You know what? I wanted him walking like Emilio Estevez in Repo Man. You know, I'm like catch the bus, dude. A freaking skateboard? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
And his buddies wanted to that bar. It all ties together. This is good writing because.
Tell me where the good writing is. I can't wait.
I think it was. Wasn't it the guy he sold the paper to? Is the one who told him that they were going to this club, $300 to get in, and he was one of the guys in the line at the club.
Oh, he was the one. He was behind the two, laughing.
Yeah.
He deserved whatever he got. Back of the line, dude.
Back of the line.
Back of the line. You deserve every bit of that, dumbass. He saved your ass with $60 for paper.
And not only that, but he saved his ass by sending him to the back of the line.
Every time I see that trope of the brilliant whatever college kid selling homework, I'm just like. Just stop it, man. Just stop it. Yeah.
This is a pre-Chat GPT world we're living in here.
But even then, I just as it unfolded in the begining, all of the just ridiculous, cliched tropes that unfolded. I was just I was writing them down. I was like, oh, there's another one. There's one. I just come on, man.
You made your own list to rile you up.
Sells homework, music dreams, Nikes, awkward, pop hip hop. It's just you know.
You made your own list to rile you up.
I did. I was just like this, and I was thinking Collateral. I was like, this guy was ripping off Collateral, right? The driver, the hitman in it. In the car, except and then it unfolds as he finds out. Oh, he's a hitman. And it's vampires, but it's kind of the same story.
It's just
not as good.
This was directed by Adam Randall. Let's see what he's known for.
Yeah,
Night Teeth.
Is that number one?
No, I mean these are the most recent things. He's got one upcoming project called Slow Horses.
I've heard of this.
Some TV show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else that's interesting here?
So Horses. Gary Oldman. It's about an intelligence agency.
Is it?
Yep. I've watched a few episodes.
You're right.
Yep.
So this guy's got nothing. He's hooded. Easier ways to make a living. Reflections. Level Up. iBoy. I see
Level
you.
Up. Yeah.
Night Teeth. So
actually, Slow Horses is decent. I wasn't that interested just because I'm sick of intelligence crap, but If I'm gonna watch intelligence crap, it's gonna be K-dramas.
Yeah. What do you think Lucy Fry is known for? Lucy Fry, who played Zoe. This is the game we should play.
I don't like it. I thought Blair was extremely hot, and I know her from something, but I could not tell you. But Zoe,
she's Debbie Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
She's known for. It's weird, like.
I know her from some stuff, but Zoe did not look that familiar to me. She's a pretty woman, but not to my taste. But you know,
yeah. I mean, she's like
unapologetically so.
Yeah, I'm looking.
We've decided we're going to own our stupid bullshit. So, thanks, guys.
Girl, me. I mean, yeah. Like, there's.
All right.
She's known for stuff.
You know, this is
Debbie Ryan.
This is the podcast proper form of you talking about tools. Let's wrap it up.
She's her most recent. This makes sense, all right?
Okay.
This has a connection.
Tell me more.
Her most recent thing is a movie that came out in 2024 called Turtles All the Way Down.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
That means you've read something.
A teenager with OCD tries to solve a mystery surrounding a fugitive billionaire.
And that sounds lame.
It sounds better than what we watched.
Yes, that's so lame. The two are not mutually exclusive.
No, they're definitely not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, anything else you want to say? Where is this on the mic? This is low on the mic scale.
Low on the mic scale.
This is.
I will not watch this again.
This is not even like could have been better. This is
No, it could totally have been better. But
no. But that's. Is
not
that the
me.
lowest?
It was not for me.
Yeah, it's not for me.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
Can you give me a sexy wrap it up, nerds?
You want the sexy?
I love the sexy wrap it up, nerds.
Why?
Because we watch sexy, laundry.
All right. I will tell you that I've named this clip. It's not sexy Wrap It Up Nerds. It's Wrap It Up Nerds Icky.
Wrap It Up Nerds, please.
Nice.
All right. Well, the game is spoken, so it is time for us to wrap it up. As always, I have been Patrick.
And I have been Andy.
The Doink.
Oh, you can call me the Doink. Yeah, I will answer to that.
And the Doink.
You guys are weird.